really enjoyed watching your lesson. I thought it was such a good start to see how you are as a teacher in the classroom and your students, and I look forward to watching more of that. All right, how did you feel like you did?
Overall, I felt like circle time went very well. It was only the second time that we sat in a circle. It's like the second day of school, I think. So a lot of things was me trying just feeling it out and seeing how they did. In the beginning, they weren't able to make a circle, so then we stopped. We learned how to make a circle, and by the end of the week this week, they're able to sit in a circle by themselves. But that was kind of that building process that I actually got to film. Another thing was making sure in between activities there's at least a small break where they can stand up. When watching the video, I was like, okay, probably should have stood up there, because by the end of the second activity, they were like rolling around on the ground a little bit. But they were still being quiet, so I guess I only had minimal complaints about that.
Yeah, no, and I thought that was pretty impressive for only the second circle time. I think they did pretty well, and I think that you're being consistent and actually like showing them like, okay, back up, that's like a good thing for you to do, is to just explicitly tell them how to make a circle and just keep reinforcing that knowledge, and it's going to come naturally to them. Yeah. I took some notes on your lesson. One thing that I really liked was you counting in the circle time at the beginning, kind of to like, get them ready, and it kind of like brings them, what's the word? It kind of like makes them realize, okay, it's time for circle time. I need to stand still. This is happening. So it's good that you're, using counting, and it's also developmentally appropriate, I thought. Another thing that I liked is that you started out the circle time by reviewing some prior knowledge about what they did in the center time, and you're kind of going through the different centers and asking them their favorite, which I thought was really good for accessing that prior knowledge, and having them share their favorites was a really good like community builder. Yeah.
With that one, the thing that I noticed that was going on is because that was our first share time, I automatically sort of assumed they'd be able to like lean over to their friend and whisper what their favorite thing was.
Yes.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah, I noticed, yeah.
So we reevaluated, and then I had them tell me. So my goal is for after 1 or 2 weeks, they'll be comfortable enough with the people around them that they, when I say lean to your partner and whisper, they can do a turn and talk, they can do partner talk, and so that everybody gets to share, and it cuts down on that time where they get wiggly or antsy about listening to other people.
Yes, yeah, and I noticed that too, and I'm glad that you said that, because it makes me know that you are reflective in your teaching, so that next time you'll know that, okay, maybe they're not ready for this step, and you can gradually add that in as they get more comfortable with what you have already. So that's good. Keep doing that. Okay. Another thing that I liked was the hand motions and language that you were using. I thought that was very developmentally appropriate. And, at this age, some of them need more cues and signaling to things, and I thought that you did very well with that, especially with that one student, Rukaya, I think. Yes. So she needed more help in remembering the things, the different centers, and you were really good about like opening the book or blocks, or you were showing her with your hands, and that kind of helped to jog her memory a little bit. So that was great. Yeah. Another thing that I really thought was great was your stretch break in the middle, where you guys got up and they stretched their hands up in the air. I thought that was really good because they needed it. They couldn't sit there for much longer, so just keep in mind that they are that young. They're 4 years old, right? So they need those stretch breaks, and I know that you are going to be incorporating more of those brain breaks between those times, which is good. That's a good thing. What else? And then overall, I feel like you're off to a great start creating good routines and building that classroom community, which is so important to do in the beginning. So you're doing awesome. I really enjoyed watching your lesson.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was just going to go through the rubric with you. So did the candidate demonstrate an understanding of learning? I felt that you did an outstanding job at that, so that's what I'm giving you, because you clearly stated the objective in there, saying that this is the like morning routine, or this is the circle time. So that's a good thing. Yes. So clearly stating those objectives. I thought that you did meet the student needs, and like I said, showing different like physical needs, like showing them with your hands and your language. I thought that you met their needs at this age. Readiness for learning. Did the candidate develop instructional strategies based on the student's readiness for learning? Yeah, I felt like you really. Okay, wait, hold on. Just a second.
How'd you think that one through? Like, just read them.
I'm sorry, it's like really long. You're gonna have to edit this. I'm sorry. Okay, so it says, can't recognize someone who's ready to move on to the next level of learning. Okay, yeah, so I thought that you realized that the students weren't ready for something. So for example, when you said that they weren't ready to do partner talk, that was a really good understanding, and that showed me that you know what they're ready for. So I'm also giving you an outstanding for that, because that's what the standard is about. It's about knowing what your students are ready for and what they're not, and you can tell by watching your lesson that you know how to do that. Developmentally appropriate instruction, I totally agree that you know what this age needs, and you show that through your language, and their break time and just the routine in general shows that. And collaboration with families and others, I mean, you told me that the father did come in to the lesson and try to, so, okay, hold on.
With this specific
With
lesson,
this one, you don't really see it. Okay, so can I just put like whatever for that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know that you do talk.
You're much kinder to me than I am. Goodness gracious.
But you did a good job. I mean, for the second circle time, I thought that was a really good. I'm not like, I'm very, when it comes to teaching, it's all about developing yourself, and I feel like you have that self-reflection and that you know how to like fix your teaching for the next time. You understand? Mm-hmm. So, I think that, with collaboration with families and others, I didn't really see it in this lesson, but I know like at the back to school barbecue, for example, you were going around and mingling with families and trying to get to know them, and you already told me so much about your students and their backgrounds and where they're coming from, which shows that you know how to interact with their families. So that's why I'm giving you outstanding for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The second video, the one that I did for my baseline, I assure you was not nearly as smooth. I think the kids were just in a very good mood for circle time.
No, that's good. And you set that mood. Like, you have to set that mood. It's not something that comes easily to a lot of people. So I know that with your experience, you're doing a great job, and I know you're gonna have a fantastic year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.